I, Daniel Miles, amateur film critic, am delivering this review of my own free will and am in no way recording this under duress. The Great Wall is the most expensive Chinese film ever made with a budget of $150 million, or one corrupt, decadent capitalist Mad Max Fury Road, which is inferior to this cinematic masterpiece in every way. And naturally, as befitting a great story set in China, funded with Chinese renminbi, and directed by legendary Chinese director Yimou Zhang, it makes sense for the film to be filmed entirely in English and to star action legend Matt Damon, legendary hero of the not stagnant for 15 years Jason Bourne franchise. The very idea that this film follows the plot of The Last Samurai or 47 Ronin by seeming to utilise the white saviour narrative is of course a complete fiction, for did director Zhang Yimou not state that Matt Damon was not playing a role that was intended for a Chinese actor? He further criticised detractors for not being armed with the facts and stated that, in many ways, The Great Wall is the opposite of what is being suggested. For the first time, a film deeply rooted in Chinese culture with one of the largest Chinese casts ever assembled is being made at tentpole scale for a world audience. I believe that this is a trend that should be embraced by our country. Besides, who would pay to see a movie headlined by Chow Yun-fat or Jet Li? And Jackie Chan is far too busy being a pop star infinitely superior to Frank Sinatra to appear. As for this masterpiece itself, it notably makes use of an all-CGI army of villainous monsters called the Tao Te, instead of lowering itself to practical effects, which never look as good. And this gem from the gods themselves in no way resembles a particularly wall-centric episode of Game of Thrones. The fact that the Nameless Order appear to have the same moral standards and requirements as the Night's Watch is purely coincidental, and besides, the Night's Watch wear all black, whereas the Nameless Order is colour-coded for your convenience. In a bid to make sure that the visual effects were spectacular, Industrial Light and Magic were held responsible, and they made creatures that will stand the test of time, and anyone who claims that they are already fake-looking is clearly wrong. Hell, Waiter Workshop, who previously did Lord of the Rings, will contribute the practical effects, namely weapons and props, to ensure a high-quality film reminiscent of vastly inferior Hollywood productions. The action scenes are superb, with the budget never being an issue regarding huge hordes of CGI monsters, and sometimes coming into thrilling hand-to-hand combat. And when in December 2016, users of film review websites Douban and Mayan, roughly equivalent to Rotten Tomatoes here in the West, disgracefully rated The Great Wall 5.4 out of 10, which is shamefully low for such a celluloid blessing, the Communist Party's official media outlet People's Daily on December 28th was forced to publish an article on its website severely criticising Douban and Mayan for doing harm to the Chinese movie industry with their shameful and spiteful bad reviews. I mean, it was just sheer coincidence that that very same day Mayon took down its professional score for The Great Wall. I myself have no such issue with awarding The Great Wall my highest rating, and would not in my wildest dreams state that it has bland characters, a completely predictable plot full of holes and deus ex machinas, and average special effects with pretty mediocre action. And that I can't fathom why anybody would want to watch this whilst Disney's Mulan deals with similar films in a far superior way, or that the Lego Batman movie is still out and should be watched again. Nope, not me. I would never dream of rating this film if nothing else, because like I said, I'm doing this review of my own free will and under no duress in any way, shape or form. Guys, come and get me! Help! I'm telling you, this is a Dungeon. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and